Back pain is a common problem that will bring people to the doctor's office, and they often are seeking remedies on how they can stay out of back pain long term. So let's talk about some of those healthy remedies and things people can do to stay out of pain.
Well, first, we should probably understand that as we age, those spaces in our disc on the front half of our body begin to get thinner and we begin to sort of lean over. We begin to sort of
It's like the
bend
Leaning
over.
Tower of Pisa.
The Leaning Tower of Pisa. So we've got to think that our musculature has got to be maintained to hold that thing up. So first thing we're going to talk about is posture. And like when I'm sitting here doing this particular television show, it's not best for me to lean over here like this. It might look cool, but it's best for me to sit up with good posture.
Sit on your sits bones.
And hold my back and my shoulders back. Now, where do people sit today? They sit like this. They got their shoulders rolled forward, their backs are bent over, their head is down, their cervical area is bent over like this, and their hands are right here. That's not good posture. So we have stand-up desks that we do and kind of stand up and work on standing up. That's a helpful tip.
Yeah, through time, if we don't have good posture, we end up with what's called the shopping cart sign, where
there it is.
You're just look like you're holding onto a shopping cart as you're walking through space.
It's interesting, those old diagrams of the birth, growth, living, and death cycle. You got, like a baby is lying down, then he crawls, then he stands up straight, and then they begin to bend over, and finally they end up flat on the ground and they're dead. The bottom line is it doesn't have to be like that. You can work on posture all the time. Hold your shoulders back. Pretend you're standing at attention the whole time. And I think that's a really good thing to do that every person out there can do right now.
Yeah, there are certain postural exercises that I've taught long-term, the 9 functional movements that you should do before you weight load your spine. So posture is very important. Another thing that's very important is this thing called body weight. If you start getting a little bit heavy around the middle, that weight around the middle is pulling your back forward. So it's compressing your discs on one side and expanding them on the other. And eventually that means nerve pain.
Yep.
So we've got to get body composition in line so that our discs don't have so much pressure on them. And we have to balance the musculoskeletal structure with good exercise. We have to stay strong front to back, right to left, and side to side so that everything maintains musculoskeletal strength, so that also holds the space between the vertebra and keeps the pressure off the discs. So weight management is very important, and strength training is very important on all regions of the spine.
Well, it's fascinating. The first time I started thinking about this a lot was you said that for every extra unnecessary pound and make like fat tissue, it's like 10 pounds in your joints. And I look at it, here's a person standing up and they've got a belly out here. Well, that's going to pull them this way. So like you said, it's going to compress the front half. They're going to try to pull the back half back, their head up. It's also going to expand the spaces over here, so it's creating imbalance. When you lose weight, this is crazy. Again, you lose that, it forces you to kind of readjust your posture and that. And so people can actually have back pain by both gaining weight and even losing weight, can't they?
They most certainly can. So a few other remedies for acute or chronic back pain. First, let's define the two. Acute back pain is back pain that is present for a week to 3 weeks. When it starts to become a month or longer, that's chronic back pain and really needs to be looked at for what the cause is and why it's still there. Other remedies for back pain are you can wear a neoprene waist wrap, and that neoprene waist wrap kind of creates like a support strut, if you will, around your back while it's trying to recover. There are anti-inflammatory supplements that you can use. One of our favorites is omega-3 fatty acids.
Yes.
That's like changing oil in the engine of your car. If you get too many omega-6s, it's likely that your tissues are rigid and aren't flexible. So we've got to get that omega-3 concentration up there. Next would be like we use Synovic's DJD, which has glucosamine, chondroitin, and MSM in it. Those are glycosaminoglycans, fancy word for water binders. They bring water into the cartilaginous components in your joints and help improve the shock absorption of the discs and the connective tissues. So there's that. There are other anti-inflammatory botanicals and herbals that we use that can help take pain and inflammation down.
Can't forget about that thing called magnesium. You know, that's a big one right there. A lot of people forget
Yes.
that magnesium is known as the great relaxer. So all these things should be utilized because back pain is so common today, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I see one person every day with some form of back pain. And when it gets to a point that nothing is working, and we know that it's either a ligament or a disc problem, we have other therapies like prolotherapy or platelet-rich plasma that can improve the strength of the ligaments that actually don't have a blood supply and sometimes get so weak they can no longer hold the spine straight.
We've both had that done. It's really good. So take all these tips we've given you about your back pain and begin to put all your troubles in the back past. How about that for a little play on words? Hope that
like
helps.
it. Let's get real. Most emergency food is just as bad for you as any other choice in the standard American diet. And that's just sad.
We don't just need food. We need highly nutritional food.
We don't just want to survive food shortages. We are meant to thrive in adversity.
Complete your daily nutrition and have shelf-stable Kingdom Fuel as a cornerstone of your food supply.
Don't sacrifice your health or your taste buds.
Stock up on Kingdom Fuel now.
And when you navigate through these economies with people, here's what happens. We want to hold their hand through it, let them know when it's time to buy, sell, reallocate, get out of Dodge. Because a lot of times when you're struck with fear does two things. Number one, it can paralyze and people just put their head in the sand and say, I'm just going to forget about it and hopefully it gets better. Or it causes you to make a wrong decision. And this is why we are here, is to help people navigate through the political quagmire nonsense that's going on, the economic malaise, and the absolute collapse that we're seeing. And when our freedoms are eroding, our political freedoms, our economic freedoms, our personal freedoms, our religious freedoms, our health freedoms, they're all tied together. But you know what doesn't need to erode with that? Our finances.
KirkElliottPhD.com/Sherwood.
Let's shine the spotlight on one of our star supplements.
The human body can make most of the types of fats it needs from other fats or raw materials, but not omega-3 fatty acids, also called omega-3 fats or N3 fats.
These are essential fats that the body must get from food.
Biomega 1000 provides a potent dose of omega-3 essential fatty acids sourced from a strategically placed fishing facility in the far South Pacific Ocean off the coast of Chile.
Each capsule delivers an impressive 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA, and the capsules also contain vitamin E. See the link below for a special offer, and remember, don't be fooled by cheap online knockoffs.